Hello, welcome everybody. We're just going to wait a minute or so for everybody's screens to load up, and then we'll start. So people are signing in. We'll give it about another 30 seconds and then we'll go.
Yeah, cool. Sure.
Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to the Peabody Online's Job and Apprenticeship Fair. I'm Nikki, I work for Peabody. We're joined today by Stefan Simmons, who's an apprenticeship program manager for K10 Apprenticeships, and Mahboob Uddin, who's a recruitment and HR manager. They'll both be delivering today's session. This session is being recorded and will be made available on the Peabody YouTube channel by the end of today. And we'll also be sharing all the slides on our website. I think my colleagues will pop the links to those in the chat box. We'll be hearing from Stefan and Mahboob first before opening up for a Q&A. So if you do have any questions you want to ask them, please pop them in the Q&A box, which is at the bottom of your screens, and we'll try and get through them all if we can. There's also a chat function. If you want to leave any comments, please do. Before we start, I'd like to say a very warm welcome to you all, and especially to any Peabody residents we have joining us today. I'd like to highlight the fact that we have a one-to-one career service that's completely free and available to all of you. And there's more information on that on our website. You can get help with things like CV writing, how to apply for jobs in a better way, and also preparing for interviews and many other things. So please get in touch with the team. Then I'm going to hand over to Stefan, who I think is going to kick off, and I'm going to hide.
Thank you very much. I won't be kicking off, actually. It'll be my colleague Mahboob, but thank you anyway, Mahboob.
Sorry.
No, you're all right, thank you.
Yeah, yes, hi everyone. So my name is Mahboob. I'm the recruitment HR manager for K10, and as Nicola said, my colleague Stefan is apprenticeship program manager. So our job is to pretty much source and find the right candidates for many opportunities that I will be posting, and yeah, I'll be posting our links to contact us eventually towards the end. So any questions or anything like that, you can put on the chat box or contact me directly. So thank you, Nicola. So who are K10? So we are an apprenticeship training agency who support delivery of higher quality apprenticeships. So we've been around since 2009. And we've been working with local authorities, colleges, training providers, and contractors. So some of the opportunities we tend to have, so if Nicola, if you can go to the next slide, so I don't know if it's next slide. There you go. So these are all the opportunities we tend to have. A lot of people do ask, so what do we do? So all our construction apprenticeships, it goes from carpentry, bricklaying, dry lining, painting, business administration, groundworks, plumbing, quantity surveying, electrical installation, assistant site management. So we do both sides really. We do the trade apprenticeships as well as the office side of it as well. All of our apprenticeships tend to be 24 months minimum. As I think last year it's changed to.
Yeah, so all apprenticeships now are standardised.
Yeah.
It means that the apprenticeship journey is slightly longer, but from the apprentice perspective, it's much more in depth. So in theory, by the end of it, you should have a much wider set of skills.
Yeah. Thank you, Nicola. Next slide, please. So why is K10 unique? So we work in a different format to some of the other companies that offer apprenticeships. So the thing that makes us different or special, I should say, is that we employ apprentices and arrange them for them to work on one site. If we are aware that site is due to finish after 6 months or 12 months, it becomes our responsibility to make sure that we take that apprentice back from the contractor and we find another contractor that is able to take on the apprentice for the duration of the apprenticeship. So we do get people asking, you know, I did an apprenticeship with someone myself privately, and if they were taken on after a few months, that site is ended and there's no more work. What tends to happen is they lose their apprenticeship because their employer can't find them another placement. Us as an agency, the benefit there is if we know a contractor loses or has no more work available for the apprentice, we can to move them away from that site, find another contractor, and allow the apprentice to continue their apprenticeship. So that way they are protected, and it's a security form as well, where they know we'll have more than one site for them to eventually complete their apprenticeship. Next slide, please. So how does K10 work? So we are pretty much, we're, as an organization, we're the middle people between the apprentice who's interested on the site, the contractor who's looking for the apprentice, and then the college who come in towards the end part of it. So what we do is we pretty much mediate. If a contractor is looking for an apprentice, we'll say, okay, we'll find the apprentice. Once we find the apprentice, we work around the sort of the plan of what the apprenticeship is. Once we find it, we'll go to a college, and so we will find the best college suitable for the apprentice. So that way we know they can attend site 4 days a week and 1 day in college. Next slide, please. So just to give you an example, this is a quick case study we've got from one of our former learners, Callum. So he came to us back in 2016. Now, with Callum, he was someone that came with us with a diploma, but when I met him at a job fair, he assumed he was already completed. He's a qualified plumber and so forth. However, with Callum, what he did was, he was at a college, he finished his diploma. Now, with construction, it's one of the sectors where you have two parts to it. There's the diploma, then there's the practical, which is the MVQ. We eventually got him to come in for an interview with us. He passed, in flying curves. He had a very positive attitude as well. So with us, he was with K10 for a good 2 years. In that time, he was on 2 different sites. Eventually, he completed his apprenticeship with us. Once we did a catch-up call with him a year later, see how he's getting on. One of the things that stood out for me was someone who was on universal credit at the time, or job seekers allowance. He went from earning just 2 weeks, so it's £90 every 2 weeks, I should say, sorry, to £130 a day, a year after completing. And that is just one of the many benefits of being qualified, a tradesperson, whether it's a plumbing, electrical, carpentry, whatever it is to basically upskill you and ensuring that you have a long-lasting sort of qualification behind you as well. Yeah, next slide, please. I'm going to pass over to Stefan now as an apprenticeship program manager to explain the rest of the points here.
Yes, I'll go through these bits and also introduce myself. Hopefully I'm not too blurred. So to join K10, obviously how it works, we need placement available. Once we have placements available, we then come just like as we are now. We will then come and try and locate the best possible apprentices for the role. To get employed by us, there is a process to do so, and you can partially see it here. We employ everyone on a PAYE contract, which means you do not have to worry about any taxes. You're entitled to up to 28 days of annual leave, sick pay, and lots of other security benefits of being on a PAYE contract. And as Mahbub said, it's our responsibility to make sure you've got enough work to complete your apprenticeship, which is another major benefit of being with K10, as opposed to being self-employed, finding your own college, enrolling yourself, getting the fees sorted out. If the contractor is in London for 8 months and then their next job is up in Blackpool, you might not be able to move up there. You lose out on the work placement, you lose out on your apprenticeship. With us, we've got enough work going on across London to be able to sort you out for the entirety of your apprenticeship. My role as an apprentice manager is to look after you throughout the course of your apprenticeship. So that isn't just to check in on you to make sure you're doing enough hours. That is also to make sure that you're getting the relevant work, to make sure you're happy, to make sure that the site are happy with your performance, to make sure you are going to college, and to make sure you are happy with the college. So it is effectively like a full 360 deal, effectively. You won't, I do site visits as well. We come down the site, so we don't just chuck you on the site and then say, see you later. Every couple of months, we're coming down just to check up on you, and again, make sure you're getting the relevant work and that you're happy. And also, we have catch-up calls and meetings every so often with yourself, the sites that you're working on, and with the colleges, just to make sure everything is running efficiently and smoothly. As you can see through the drop-down menu, there's a few perks of joining K10. So obviously holiday pay up to 28 days of annual leave. You get a designated apprentice manager to speak to if you're going through any issues or had any questions about anything. Depending on the course you're on, if you're on a trades course where you're on the tools, you'll get up to £200 worth of tools paid to you, and PPE. So that's boots, hard hat, high-vis gloves, goggles. And if you do need any specialized equipment, sorry, do you just mind going back to that slide?
The next one, sorry, I think it disappeared, the bullet points.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm just waiting.
No, sorry, it just flicked away.
No, you're right. I think it might be frozen now.
Let me see what I can do. Try and go forward.
No worries. But yeah, apart from that,
there you go.
There you go.
Perfect. We also supply you guys with CSS cards. So if you do not have one and you are looking to apply with us, don't panic. We won't just reject you based on not having one. We will pay for that. We'll pay for a level 1 health and safety, which we'll do internally. You might want to get that. Sorry, our doorbell's just gone off. We're in the office and we're a bit short-staffed today. We'll pay for your level 1 health and safety, which we do in-house, and we are registered to do so. We'll then get you the CSCS training, and we'll pay for your CSCS test. And upon completion, we'll pay for the card. That saves you about 100 to 150 quid. That's your card to keep for the 5 years that you'll have it for. Whilst being on site, you'll be able to network, you'll be able to meet new contractors and different people. You'll see how the operations work on a large-scale commercial building site. Most of the building sites we work on range in value anywhere between 5 million to up to some silly budgets of 500 plus million, depending on where you are, all around central London. The aim of the game for all of you is to get qualified. All of our qualifications are nationally recognised, city and guild qualifications. And once completed, you'll then be in hopefully a very good position to move on in your career. I will now pass you back over in the capable hands of Mabu.
Thank you, Stefan. Yes, go to the next slide, please. So these are our current vacancies at the moment. So we've got a whole load of opportunities across London, and admittedly, not enough people applying. So if you are living within those boroughs, please apply. If we don't have anything in your borough, don't worry, we might have something coming up in the future. So with us, the way our apprenticeship works, as I said, we place you within the borough you live in. So you don't have to travel too far out. You don't need to worry about travel expense. Main important thing here is to ensure that if there's a trade that you are interested in, get in touch with us and we might have something available for you. So if you just look at the list and just carefully look at any areas that we might be working in your borough, do get in touch.
And sorry, just to butt in as well, we last month was probably the busiest month for us in terms of new jobs and new apprentices starting since before the pandemic. So we're talking February, March, well, probably January, February 2020. So if things continue in that trajectory, we're expecting the new year to be a very positive new year for K10. So fingers crossed, obviously, with everything that's going on with the pandemic. But we are expecting a lot more business in the new year. So keep your eyes out, still fill out an application. It doesn't harm you. And then we have your details.
Next slide, please. So how to get in touch. So again, you can get in touch through either Peabody or you can get in touch with us directly. As the recruitment HR manager here, you can contact me on my email, or you can contact us on our number below or the generic email we've got for anyone that's got a general query for our opportunities. And I think that is it, really.
Okay, thank you both.
Thank you very much.
Can you quickly whack that in the chat as well so people can cut and paste it before the session ends if they haven't scribbled it down, and we'll get to the questions. We have a few. We have the pleasure of these guys' company for another 15 minutes, so keep the questions coming in. We can drain their brains as much as we can. So first question, how about Mechanical Site Supervisor apprenticeship or Mechanical Engineering apprenticeship? I mean, both are related to construction.
So we offer a plumbing level 3 apprenticeship, which depending on how you define mechanical, some people would define mechanical like car engineer, which is something we don't do. We do offer a plumbing level 3 apprenticeship, City and Guilds. It is the reason why you didn't see it on the list is because we don't have any available positions at the moment. It is probably our most popular, so there is a lot of competition. However, it doesn't mean that you can't still put in an application. Depending where you live, when something does come up and we start recruiting, we can be in touch. We do also have site management apprenticeships. We do offer a level 3 team leader, and there is also a level 4. It's a bit harder to get on, so we obviously just have to look at entry requirements and their previous qualifications. But they are 2 things we do offer. It just depends on whether or not we have the availability. In the last year, plumbing and electrical, funnily enough, even though they're 2 of the most popular, they've been 2 of our least sought after apprenticeships from contractors. However, as I said, in the new year, we are expecting lots of business. I've been in touch with lots of plumbing and electrical subcontractors in the last few months. A lot of work is picking up in the new year, so that's what we're hoping.
Okay, thank you. We have another question here. How long does it take to finish an apprenticeship, and is there a guarantee for contracted work once it's finished?
So an apprenticeship by definition is a minimum of 12 months and 1 day. That's set out by the government. I'm not really sure what the extra day is for, but it's 12 months and 1 day. So on average, most apprenticeships are, I think, as Mahbub said, about 18 to 24 months. There are some slightly longer ones. Plumbing and electrical can be up to 36 to 42 months. So they are much longer. So it requires a much bigger commitment. But on average, we're looking at about 18 to 24 months. However, if you're smashing the ball out of the park, getting all your college work in on time, there's no reason why you can't complete quicker. I think our record was a groundworks apprentice last academic year completed in 13 months. He could have got completed slightly sooner, but the pandemic delayed him by about a month and a half. So it can be done. It comes down to your commitment. In regards to guaranteed contracted work, we are an apprenticeship training agency. Unfortunately, that's all we offer. However, it is, as I said, you know, if you're doing 18, 24 plus months on site, you've already got site experience, you're getting the qualification in the background, you're networking with people. And I would say, God, I don't know off the top of my head, but I would say 60+% of the time, the apprentice will be taken on by the contractor that they've been working with, who they've made very good relationships with. As I said, the person who completed in record time 13 months, he got taken on directly by his contractor. He done a groundworks apprenticeship in 13 months. He's not a ground worker anymore. He's now a trainee civil engineer earning £15 an hour. And that's literally the day after he left K10. So that comes down to you. But obviously, if you kind of come into us, you pass our interview stage and we get you on site, we believe you're good enough to be in the industry. And as long as you keep everyone happy within the industry, there will always be work. That's the reason why apprenticeships are so big right now. Post-Brexit, there's going to be a massive skill shortage in the next 5 to 10 years. That's where you guys hopefully will be coming in.
Okay, thank you very much. There's a question from Louisa Nightingale. So what qualifications do you need to apply for an apprenticeship?
So as a bare minimum, we look for English and maths. So as a rule of thumb, we're looking at entry levels of anything equivalent to a level 1 and above in English and maths. That doesn't mean that just because you don't, we will instantly reject you, because if you're a very good candidate, we can always look at possible solutions. But depending on the apprenticeship, so for example, if you was applying for a level 2 apprenticeship, we would be looking at B's or above in English and math. If you're looking at a level 3 apprenticeship, we'd be looking at level C's and above, and so on and so forth. However, as I said, that doesn't mean that you can't apply without. We've had plenty of people come through who haven't done very well at GCSE for one reason or another, and they've come in, they've shown us that they can achieve, you know, the correct level English and maths, and we've helped support them get through it, and they have completed as a result.
That's brilliant, thank you. A question from Marfred. I'm currently studying electrical installation level 2 City and Guilds at college already. Do I have to change college, and how often do you receive electrical apprenticeships?
So as I said before, plumbing and electrical are 2 of our most popular courses. So when we do get one job come through, we can have up to 100, 200 applications for that one specific job. So it is very competitive. If you're already in college, I'm assuming you're probably doing a diploma. If you were successful with us, if say we had an apprenticeship in your area, you applied and you were successful. If your college offered the apprenticeship side of the qualification, we could just keep you in the college and you would just move over to the apprenticeship side. And that's all that would happen. The only difference is probably at the moment you're going in 3 days a week at the moment. On the apprenticeship, you go in 1 day a week to college and 4 days a week on site. The college day is paid for as well by K10.
That's good to know, thank you. Next question, do you recruit to non-trades apprenticeships in construction?
Yes, so we do also have white collar apprenticeships, site management, quantity surveying, and business administration. Before the pandemic, we were also going to offer a health and safety management apprenticeship. However, since the pandemic, we haven't had a lot of interest, so we put it on hold. But as I said, in the new year, we'll be looking to push on with as much as we can. We do offer white collar. It just depends on what we have available at that moment.
Okay. Thank you very much. Learning Curve Group are running a free construction skills bootcamp for people who are over 19 seeking to get started in a career within construction. As the Youth Engagement Manager for London, we're keen to connect with you. I currently have 2 candidates seeking apprenticeships in plumbing and electrical. We will cover the cost of their CSCS test and want to put them forward for an interview with you within the next few weeks. Are you able to support with this work?
Unfortunately, right now, no. Plumbing and electrical, I've got plumbers and electricals coming out of my back pockets and my ears at the moment. Please stay in touch with us. Please feel free to get them to complete an application on our website, because as I said, things will come up, and depending on what area in London, we're going to be recruiting hugely, hopefully in the new year in south of the river and north of the river. So keep in touch with us. At this very moment, I will say no, but please keep in touch. You never know.
Okay, thank you, Stefan. Do you provide CSCS card training?
Yes, so we as I said before, we offer a level 1 health and safety, which is basically the qualification you need to get a 5-year CSCS card. That is basically preparation for the test. And then we also advise a CSCS app, the official app you can download. And we can also provide some relevant material for additional revision. We wouldn't force anyone into the test when they're not ready for it. So we always just keep in touch with people, make sure that they're doing revision where possible, and just seeing how they're getting on before we actually do pay for the test ourselves, because we want people to succeed first time, obviously.
Okay, thank you. Do you offer degree apprenticeships?
Not currently, no. It's something we have looked into, but at the moment we're just looking at more entry-level construction apprenticeships to get people their feet in the door and into the industry.
Okay, thank you. Are ECS cards also available instead of CSCS?
Yep. So if you were an electrical apprentice, most contractors require an ECS apprentice card. We get this question all the time. It's something we sort out. Again, if you need to take any additional tests, I think that test is a £50 test. We'll pay for that. I think the card is 30, 40 quid. We'll pay for that. That's not an issue.
Thank you. I think you covered this in your speeches, but do you provide toolkits for your apprentices?
So we don't provide the toolkit. How it works is they buy the tools they require and they send us a receipt and we pay it back on the next day up to £200. That's just because I could give you a £200 toolkit, you take it down the site and they go, we don't need any of this, and then it's just a waste of money. So we always say, if you do join us, I always say for your first couple of days, pencils, rulers, tape measures, that's what you're going to need. They're going to, get you to do some bits and pieces, see how you get on. And then you'll slowly see what people are using. They'll, you can ask them to give you a list of things you need, and then you can just pick away at it and grab the stuff, and we reimburse you. And that's over the course of your apprenticeship. You don't have to use it all in the first week. You can spread the cost. If you already have your own tools, we've had people buy like a £300 drill, and then we give them back the 200. So it's like they've only paid 100 for it. So it's kind of flexible.
Possible.
Yeah.
And bespoke. Okay, cool. Thank you. We've got one more question. If there are any more, if anyone's sort of a bit shy of putting something in the inbox, you can do it anonymously. So please do. We've got 5 more minutes. Next question. Do you pay the London living wage?
We do when requested. So our standard rate, I think I actually didn't read it in the last slide. Our standard rate is the national minimum wage, which is £8.36 per hour. However, the government have already announced what next April's is. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's going up to about 88.90. So come next April, that will be going up. Once you are with us for 1 year, you then go on to the national living wage, which at the moment is £8.91, and I think that's going up to about £9.20, £9.50. So yeah, come next April, it's all going up. Some of our apprentices are on the London living wage. However, we can't dictate that. That comes down to the contractors that you guys work with. Sometimes the local boroughs will state they must be on the London living wage, and some contractors will just pay it out of the kindness of their hearts. Unfortunately, we can't dictate it. Our contracts state £8.36. However, I understand, London's not a cheap city, but that's why we try and pay the minimum wage. If you look nationally, the apprenticeship wage at the moment nationally is about £4.60. We don't go that low. It's unfeasible in London. I know £8.36 isn't a rock star or footballer's salary, but for a trainee, it's enough to get you by. And I can assure you, it's a lot more than what I was on when I started on the tools. I think I was on £20 a day when I started. So you're on a little bit more than that.
Okay, we have had someone put one more question in. What's the convergent rate for people starting an apprenticeship with K10 and actually getting a job at the end of their qualification?
Oh, getting a job. So as I said before, I couldn't say off the top of my head. We'd have to probably do some calculations, but I would happily say 60 to 65%. And the ones that don't get a job directly afterwards is probably because they go self-employed. Anyone who qualifies with K10 goes into work afterwards. You don't get all the way to the end of the apprenticeship and then do nothing. So the only people I know that haven't received a job after the apprenticeship is because they've either gone self-employed and then they go off and do some agency work, some off and start up their own company with their mates, and others do contracted work. They're usually the ones who don't go down that route. But as I said, if you're reliable and you're committed and you make good impressions, there's a reason why people wouldn't look after you and sort out for you after you complete.
Thank you. There's one more question as well, which I think is a good one as well. Do you support with that job search at the end of the apprenticeship?
Yes. So if you've come through the apprenticeship, come to the other end, and for whatever reason the contractor doesn't offer you an apprenticeship, and I think that you're a stunning apprentice who deserves the opportunity, we'll help you spruce up your CV, and we'll speak to the contractors. As I said, we work very closely with contractors, big and small. We work with some of the biggest housing developers in the UK, and we work with a small subcontract. Well, I say small subcontractors. To us, they're small, but they're still relatively big. So yeah, we'd be more than happy to support with that search. I actually had a phone call with one of my apprentices yesterday who is about to complete her site management apprenticeship. The contractor have now turned around and said they don't think they can actually afford to keep her on after her apprenticeship, which will be an absolute shame. So I've already said to her, don't worry, I will, if push comes to shove, I'll speak to every contractor under the sun, because she's smashed it out of the park. She deserves a good opportunity. She will get a job somewhere. So again, it's like with everything. The more work you put in, the more you'll get out. If you're showing us you're reliable, committed, and great, I'll try and bend over backwards, not physically, but to help you guys as best as I can.
Okay, good for her. Quick last question. Do you have many female apprentices?
It depends what you define as many. I would say no, because I always want more. I think there's still something that the construction industry is lacking behind. But I think in the last, I've been in K10 for 3 years, and I would say over the last 3 years, I've seen more and more people, females on site. When I started plumbing, 2010, 2011, on site, you'd never meet a female. But now or if you did meet a female, it would be like an administrator in the office. Now you have females on the tools. Now I've met female site managers looking after large commercial projects, female project managers. I still think we need more, and I would love to employ more. Obviously, we don't discriminate, so please, we take everyone as standard. But no, we're always looking to help out more. At the moment, I'm looking after 50 apprentices, and out of that 50, probably 10%, five or six of them are female. Again, it's good, but it's not great. So we would like to make it better.
We have quite a lot of females in our development team at Peabody, which we're very proud of. I think it's one of the
so you should be.
teams,
And
50,
we're
50.
proud of all of our female apprentices who quite often do very well, on the apprenticeship. So
no doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you both. Thank you all for coming
much.
today. Special thank you to Stefan and Mahbub.
Thank you for organising.
You're welcome. We are running, we have 3 more sessions this afternoon, so if you'd like to have a look at those and sign in, please do. We've run 20 sessions over the course of the 2 days, and all of the recordings for those will be on our YouTube channel, and all of the slides will be on our website. So if you couldn't make them and are interested, please have a look there. Enjoy the rest of your afternoons. Take care.
Thank you very much. Take care. Thank you very much.
Bye.